Hello, how are we doing? We're having minor technical difficulties, but we're getting there. Let me know if. Can you see this? Okay, go to www.proverbs. Here, let me do it. All right, www. And if you're watching this, well, you don't need the address because you're here. Dun, dun, dun. Let's see. Oh, yep. Am I live? I think so. All right. Let's go. We are going to jump right into this and we're going to talk about what you really need to know in order to get married. All right. All right. Your screen sharing percent. Yes. And all right, so let's get started. Today, you are here because you want to know how to create a love life that you love. And I want to share that information with you because I honestly believe that marriage is one of the greatest gifts that we have in this world. It is one of the greatest blessings to be married. And I want you to know how to go from wherever you're at into a love life that you love, one that is moving forward, one that is honoring God, one that is positioned for marriage. So I'm going to show you how you can make that ultimate shift from struggling to find love, feeling lonely, and feeling uncertain of what you should be doing to creating a love life that you truly enjoy. So I know we had some technical difficulty and I thank you for hanging out with me until we got this up and going. But if you will stay with me till the end, I have a very special bonus for you. I want to give you 7 keys to know if he is the one because nothing is more frustrating than being interested in someone but not knowing for sure. How do you really know? Is this the one for me? I'm going to give you 7 keys to make that decision really simple. And if you stick with me until the end of this class, I'm going to show you how you can get that program. So I want you to know that whatever you're dealing with, whatever you're feeling, today is Valentine's Day. And for some people, that comes with certain feelings, especially if you're not having the kind of day you really hoped for. But I want you to know that right now, in this very moment, you are enough. You are 100% lovable. And the problem is more often than not that you don't know how to share that with the world and to receive that love. So I'm going to help you get there. I'm going to help you learn how to know that you are enough. So I would really love it if you would give me your full attention. That means turn off whatever phones or electronics might go off and beep and steal your attention because what I'm going to share with you today is has real potential to change your life. So take this time for yourself. Take this time, invest in yourself, invest in your future, invest in the relationship that you want by turning off all distractions. If you can move away from potentially noisy people, I'd invite you to do that and just settle in, get comfy, and learn what you can do to create a love life that you love. So you're here for a reason. The first reason I think you're here is because you're excited about creating a love life that honors God and is fulfilling on a deeply spiritual level. You don't want to be in a relationship that makes you feel guilty or makes you feel any shame. I think we've all been there. I think we've all been with the wrong person and we've known it and we've kept going with that person because you just don't want to end it. It's too awkward, it's too hard. So you don't end the relationship when you should. But if you want to have a relationship that honors God and that you feel really good about, stick with me because I'm going to show you how to get that. The second reason you're here is because you're motivated to leave the past behind so that you can focus on spending more time doing what you really love with someone who is extremely special to you. You're done with the past relationships. You're ready to move on and you're ready to move towards a relationship that is positioned for marriage, that is positioned for a once in a lifetime commitment of love that honors God and is good and wholesome. And the third reason you're here is because you're intrigued by the idea that marriage can be both deeply rewarding and spiritually satisfying. So we want more. We want more out of our relationships. How do you get that? How do you get to that level where everything is being fulfilled? Because marriage should be deeply fulfilling. Relationships should be deeply fulfilling. And if you're feeling drained and exhausted by your relationships, there's a problem. You're probably giving too much and you're not receiving what you really need. So how are we going to fix that? You're here because you're excited about being happily married to your true love. And you're ready to leave the dating world behind. You're done with the one night stands. You're done with the clubs. You're done with the alcohol. And you want to create something that is good and lasting. And plus, you're probably intrigued by the idea that marriage can be sexy and sacred. I know that's kind of weird to hear, especially in the Christian world, but marriage is supposed to be sexy. And I know that some of you are here because you are ready for some guilt-free fulfillment. Because, outside of marriage, we get into relationships, we take them too far, we know we shouldn't, and yet it still happens. And you're ready to say, look, I just want to do things the right way, but how do you get there? And if those are your reasons for being here, I want you to know that I fully support you. Whatever your motivation is to be here today, I fully support you and I say go for it. Marriage is great. It's one of the most rewarding and fulfilling things you can do. And I want to help you do it because I myself am married and this is my wonderful husband. This is Livingston and he is just the most amazing man for me. He's supportive, he's kind, he's wonderful, and he's thoughtful. And my life is better because of him. And this is the family we have. We have two little girls, Cheepo and Cheeto, and they just light up my life. And it's a privilege to be their mother. It's a privilege to be his wife. And it is a joy to wake up every single day and be able to have the life that I have because being in love and being married to your best friend is a wonderful thing. And I want that for you. I want you to be able to find your best friend. And I can help you do that because we have been in this relationship for 7 years. We have 2 kids. We have 4 ministries. My husband and I oversee Miracle Arena for All Nations in Western Canada. So we've got a branch in Yellowknife, Fort McMurray, Calgary, and Edmonton. And that is a lot of work. With 2 kids, it's a lot. But the beauty of it is in all of that, in all of the time we've been together, we have had 0 fights. And when I say 0, I mean 0 fights. No slamming doors, no running away, no silent treatments, none of that stuff. We enjoy a fight-free marriage. Now, does that mean we've never had a disagreement? Of course not. We have had plenty of disagreements, but there is a big difference between having a disagreement about something and fighting over it. And I think that as Christians, we have a responsibility to learn how to have a fight-free marriages because when we have that kind of a marriage, our marriage becomes a testimony to an unbelieving world. So this is me, and I want to tell you a few things about myself. First of all, I spend 90% of my time with my family, with my kids. I work from home. We do most of our work from home or within the church. And so we spend a lot of time together. And so I have had lots of opportunity to really hone in on these skills of what it takes to, it's easy to be in a relationship if you don't see each other very often, but if you are constantly around each other, it could be a little bit more difficult. And I want to tell you, I get it. And the way I manage my life is that I say no to anything that drains me. I don't get into work and I don't get into situations that aren't fulfilling. And I choose what I do very carefully and very wisely with a lot of wisdom. And I choose to say yes to the things that light me and us up as a couple, things that we can do together. If we can do it together, I'd rather us do it working together than try to do a lot on our own, because they say that if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. And when it comes to our marriage, we want it to go far. We don't want to have it fizzle out and be done after a few years. No, we want a lifelong marriage. And so we do as much as we can together. And I want to take a moment to ask you, can you imagine what it would feel like to say yes to the one? So I asked some ladies, I've got this Facebook group called God, Where is My Boaz? And in the group, I asked them to describe for me their perfect engagement situation, their perfect engagement scenario. And one girl said that in her perfect dream, her boyfriend, the person she's interested in, would take her for a hike up the mountain. And then at sunset, they would reach the top of the mountain. And then all of her friends and family would be waiting there behind the trees. And then as the sun was setting, he would get down on one knee and he would propose to her, and she would say yes, of course. And then everybody would cheer and everybody would congratulate them. And that was her perfect moment. And I want to know, what does your perfect moment? If you can tell me about it in the chat box, that would be wonderful. I want to know, what does your perfect moment look like when you say yes? And don't just tell me about the setting, but tell me how you will feel. What will it feel like in that moment to say yes and confidently know that, yes, this is the right one, this is the right time, and I am totally ready to make that commitment? What is that going to feel like? Because I want to tell you that becoming the wife to a godly husband means that you're no longer searching for love, but instead you are creating it and treating your marriage like the cornerstone of your family. So often we go on this search, this quest to find love. And once you get married, that search is over, but instead it transforms and it becomes this thing that you create every day and you take responsibility for. So today I'm going to teach you the 3 secrets every single Christian woman needs to know to create a love life you love. So secret number 1, the first secret you need to know is that a great man and a great woman are required to have a healthy, successful, and thriving marriage. You need both. And I know that sounds kind of obvious, but hear me out. You need to have a great man and a great woman if you want to have a great relationship. And that means you've got to know yourself. Sure, you might be out there looking for a great man, but a great man is also looking for a great wife. And that means you have to make sure that you are a great wife, that you are marriage material. So to do that, you need to know yourself. You need to know, what do you love and what do you want? Because when you know what you have to offer, it becomes easier to show that to the world and show that to the people who you want to attract. And you've got to be prepared to add value to somebody else's life. You need to know what your value is. You need to know what your strengths are. You need to know what your weaknesses are as well. And you need to be prepared to work on your weaknesses and add to your strengths so that you have value to add to a relationship. Because the Bible tells us that when a man finds his a good wife, she is worth more than rubies. But you need to be able to clearly identify and articulate your true value so that other people can recognize it. God knows how great and wonderful we are, but sometimes we fail to even recognize it within ourselves. We need to know how wonderful we are. That way we can be treated with respect, and we need to have other people see our value. Sometimes it gets hidden, and I'm going to show you how to reveal your true value. And the other thing you need to know is that you cannot waste your time on time wasters. There's a lot of guys out there, and a lot of them, 98% of them, 99% of them are not right for you. And so it's your job to eliminate the wrong ones very quickly. But so many women, they get desperate and they try to take someone that they're interested in, but they know that he's not right for them. There's too many red flags. There's too many deal breakers in there. And yet they stay committed to that relationship, trying to force him to become the person they want him to be. And it doesn't work. The problem is you're not their savior. Jesus is. Jesus is their savior, and they need to know Jesus in order for them to be able to be all that they can be. Now, if you're trying to force someone to know Jesus, it's not going to work. It's great to evangelize. It's great to introduce people to Jesus. But if you're trying to force that relationship on somebody else, it's ineffective. All right. So you want to avoid the time wasters, and you want to move forward in your relationship with the right person. And you've got to have confidence to be able to do that. You've got to know that you're worth it. Confidence is so beautiful. Confidence is extremely attractive. And I want to show you how you can radiate confidence, because the opposite is desperation, and desperation is a romance killer. Trust me, men can sense desperation a mile away. And there's two types of guys out there. Let me be real quick and clear about this. There are the type that will sense desperation and they will just opt out. They'll be like, nope, not going there. And there's another type of man that knows that you're desperate and plays upon that. And those kind of guys will take advantage of your desperation. They will lead you on, and the relationship never gets to the point you really want it to, but you stay in that relationship out of desperation. Don't do it. It's not effective. It's not a good strategy. Be confident and avoid desperation at all costs. Okay, the second secret to creating a love life you love is by avoiding dating and courting instead. Courting is the most effective dating strategy. And let me explain what I mean by that. In a relationship, there are three stages. There are three stages of a relationship: single, courting, and married. Now, what is courting? The definition of courting is to be involved with somebody romantically, typically with the intention of marrying. Now, courting is all about intention. You are getting to know somebody with intention, and you know right from the beginning what that intention is, and it is to get married. Courting involves wooing and pursuing. It means that he is pursuing you, and there is romance built right into the whole thing. This is very different from what we see in modern dating, where dating is all about trying to figure out if we're compatible and if I like you and if we have things in common. Dating is very confusing. When you're dating, you say all these things like, so I'm dating this guy, we're kind of seeing each other, but I'm not sure. We're going to go out on Friday, but we're just kind of getting to know each other. And dating is confusing because it's never really clear about your status. And even once you define your status and you've got that conversation where you say, oh, you're my girlfriend, you're my boyfriend, and it's clear that you went from just seeing each other and getting to know each other to now you're officially a dating couple, it's still not clear the purpose of dating. And so many women get stuck in the girlfriend trap. where, oh, now you're his girlfriend, and that is supposed to satisfy all of the relationship requirements. And so in that stage, a lot of women end up giving their boyfriends husband privileges because they're afraid that if they make that requirement and say, look, I don't want to have sex before marriage, I don't want to treat my boyfriend as a husband, that guy will opt out and he will leave, and then you'll have to start all over again. So the problem with dating is it's not exclusive. It's not exclusive. If you think that you're dating him and he's not dating anybody else, 90% of the time you're going to be wrong. Unless you've had a really clear conversation about that at some point and said, look, are we dating exclusively or not? For most men, dating means that we're seeing people and we're getting to know people and we're not being exclusive with anybody. Dating involves hanging out and hooking up and having fun, getting to know each other, but it does not involve a serious commitment. So we've got dating on the one hand, we've got courting on the other. And I know some of you are saying, but Pastor Lily, courting sounds so old fashioned. Like that's what my grandmother did. And to that I say, yes, it is. It is so old fashioned that it's biblical. And guess what? It works because your grandma got married and your great grandma got married and your great great grandma got married. But you've been dating. How many men have you dated? And how long is it taking? And do you see a ring yet? So let's be real. Courting is an effective strategy for getting from point A to point B. Point A being single, and not knowing where you're going, to, yes, you have a committed relationship that is positioned towards marriage and you are prepared to make that commitment. So ask yourself, is dating getting you the results you want? What you've been doing so far, is that getting you the results you want? And if you're on this webinar, chances are that the answer would be no. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. You'd be celebrating Valentine's Day, right? And if it's not getting you the results you want, what are you afraid of? What is it that you're afraid of? And I can tell you, you're afraid of rejection. The reason courting sounds and kind of gives you that tight feeling in your stomach of like, that sounds like a lot to ask, is because asking for more inevitably means that more people are going to reject you. And rejection is really painful. I get it. And I can tell you myself, I stayed in relationships that were no good for me. They were definitely no good for the other person for way too long because I didn't want to get my heart broken and I didn't want to hurt them either. And so for years, I wasted a lot of my young adult life in bad relationships that were draining, that were depressing, that were destructive in so many ways because I didn't know how to get out of it. And I felt bad about wanting out in the first place. And in a recent study, they asked a whole bunch of people, would you rather break an arm or be broken up with? And guess what? 75% of people said, yes, I'd rather have a broken arm than a broken heart. And I don't want to break up with anybody else. 75% would choose a broken bone over a broken heart because this stuff does hurt. It is truly painful. It takes time to get over. It takes time to heal a broken heart. It seems to take longer than it does to heal a broken bone. So I totally get it. Breaking up is hard. Having good boundaries is hard. But if you continue to let fear control you, you will never be able to enjoy a healthy and thriving relationship. And you owe yourself that. You owe yourself a healthy, thriving, beautiful marriage, even though the path to get there might be through some rejection. But with the right strategies and the right support, you'll be able to manage that. You'll be able to get through that. And you'll be able to get to the other side where rejection isn't a thing anymore because you've got a lifelong commitment with somebody you love. And the third secret I want to share with you today is, if you're afraid of all that rejection, guess what? You only need to marry one man. Just one. You don't have to marry over and over again. The whole idea is to get married once for life. Now, some of us try this strategy of like having a lot of guy friends. Like you want everybody to be interested in you, and you want to know, because of the number of people who like you, that you are valuable, and you want the men to compete, and you want to like, that doesn't work. That's a lot of game playing. You don't need that. You don't need everyone to like you. You need the right person to like you. Okay? You want to marry your best friend. This isn't a popularity contest. You've just got to be number one for the right person. And there's 3 different approaches to finding the one. I'm going to share those 3 approaches. How are you going to find this one guy? All right? Approach number 1 is what I call the shotgun method. The shotgun method is where you try everything. You try getting a new outfit. You try a new hairstyle. You try online dating. You try speed dating. You try Tinder. You try going out on a blind date. Whatever there is to try, you're willing to try it to see if this will work. And this is a really tempting strategy because it seems so effective. That seems like that's what everybody's doing. They're just, finding love naturally. They do this thing and then they're wearing the cute outfit and the guy comes along and checks them out and says, yep, she's the one. And it looks like, yeah, that's how people get married these days. But ask yourself this question: how long do those marriages last? Because the truth is that strategy might look like it's working because it leads to a wedding day, but how long does that marriage really last? We know that those quick and easy relationships that just, come together really fast, they don't often last very long. And we know this, but the question is, what else can we do? What alternative is there? The second alternative is the matchmaker approach. We all know a matchmaker. We probably have some in our lives. And there's 2 kinds. There are the professional matchmakers, and they have TV shows and whatnot. And then there are the family, familiar, personal matchmakers. But let's talk about the professionals first. So the professionals are in the business of getting people married, and it's a great idea to hire a professional because, after all, this is one of the most important decisions you will ever make in life. The decision to get married in a lifelong commitment is by far more important than the car you drive or the computer you use or the job you have, because you can get a different job and you can get a different car, and it's more important than the house you'll buy. Your marriage is a lifelong investment and a lifelong commitment. So it's a good idea to work with some professionals. You wouldn't learn to drive without getting some kind of lessons in that. You wouldn't buy a house. You wouldn't invest thousands and thousands of dollars into buying a house with absolutely no information. No, you'd hire a realtor, you'd talk to professionals, you'd talk to lawyers. And when it comes to marriage, for some reason, we kind of think that this is supposed to come naturally, so I'm not going to need any help with that. But working with a professional matchmaker can cost anywhere from $100 to $25,000. And, they do a lot of things. They will write your dating profile for you. Like if you have a dating profile on Match.com, they'll rewrite that thing to really showcase the best of you. They will interview you and find out who you like, what you want, what kind of lifestyle you have. They'll interview any potential partners. They'll interview all the candidates for you, and they'll get all of their information, and they will plan your date, and they will take care of all of the details, and they'll set you up, and they'll see it all through. But like I said, depending on what services you're asking for, you're going to start anywhere from $100 to $25,000. And here's the thing, there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee that they will hook you up with the right person and that this will last a lifetime. You also have the second option, which is your loved ones, your mom, your sister, your friends, your coworkers, maybe even your boss. They all have somebody that you should meet. Oh, you should meet my brother's friend. You should meet the guy at work. You should meet so-and-so. They all have suggestions. And those we got to love our matchmakers around us because they have the best intentions. They really do. They're a team of people around you. They care about you and they want to see you happy. But here's the problem. Do they truly understand what it takes to have a lasting marriage? Look at the people around you and look at their relationships. Do they have what it takes? Do they know what makes a marriage last? And if they don't, that's something you need to work on. The third approach, which is my favorite approach, is that you personally learn what it takes rather than relying on somebody else, rather than relying on your friends and family, rather than just trying whatever. What if instead you learned what it takes to have a successful marriage? Because trust me, the information is out there. You can learn. There are books, there are videos, there are series, there are seminars, there are conferences that will teach you what it takes to have a successful marriage. Because building a relationship is a skill. This is a life skill that will be useful to you no matter where you go or what you do. Building a relationship is a lifelong skill, and you learn it over time, and you practice it and you build up that skill until you're really good at it. Now, there's two ways to learn this skill. You can either learn it on your own or have somebody teach you. I personally love to learn. I love research. I love reading. I love the library. Like my library card, it's one of my greatest friends. So you can learn all of this stuff on your own. It's out there. And that was the method that I took. When I got to a point where I realized I wanted to get married, I wanted to marry my husband, loving son, but I wasn't ready. I immediately got to work. I got to the library. I started consuming everything I could possibly find on love, on relationships, on Christian stuff around relationships. I started learning everything I could about personal development and self-help. I just have a voracious appetite for that kind of stuff. And I started putting it all together and I started teaching myself. And that's really where I got my breakthrough. I taught all this stuff to myself. But trust me, that took a long time, like a couple years. And I'm still constantly adding to what I know. But in the beginning, God did this thing where, I knew that I wanted to marry this man, and then God removed that man and put some space between us for a period of over 6 months. And in that time, that's when I really just dug into the Word of God. I dug into all this material on marriage and relationships, and I taught myself. But you might not have that desire to go that deep in teaching yourself. So the alternative option is to join a class, because learning all that stuff and figuring it all out takes time, because there are so many options. You could watch YouTube videos. You could follow people on Facebook. You could read a lot of books. You could pay for material. You could go find free material, because Lord knows there's plenty of free material out there. But what do you choose? Because remember, if your goal is to have a Christian marriage, a covenant marriage, which means it's not just between you and him, but it's actually between you and him and God, a covenant marriage is a very different thing from what most of the rest of the world has, right? A covenant marriage is a very special gift given to Christians by God, in which we are in a covenant with God himself, us, and that man. And you're not going to find the right information about how to do that from a Cosmo magazine or from Oprah or from a lot of the sources out there in the world. So how do you discern what's going to work for you as a Christian woman from what's out there in the world? And that's why I want to invite you to something very special. You showed up here because I promised to tell you the 3 secrets that every Christian woman needs to know. You showed up today, even though there were literally 100 different things you could have been doing. You are busy, but you showed up here for a reason. Maybe you feel uncertain. You want to make a bold move, but you've been scared to take the leap. I get it. You want this thing, but how do you know what the first step is? Maybe you feel stuck, like the relationship you're in or the ones that you've left aren't fulfilling, but you're not sure of the next best move. Maybe you're feeling tired. You're tired of going on date after date or waiting for the phone to ring, and you're done wasting your time on men who don't truly appreciate you. And I think you want more. You want more. You know you were made for more than this. You want to have a home. You want to have a family, and you want to have a place to belong. So you have two options. Either you make a plan and you commit to it 100%, or you don't. Option one, you don't change anything. You keep doing what you're doing, and don't be surprised if you find yourself in the exact same place this time next year. You know, it's Valentine's Day. What do you want to be different this time next year? You've got to ask yourself that question. And if what you want is to be moving towards a godly marriage, then you have to choose option number two. You have to commit 100% to creating a love life that you love. And you've got to use a proven plan to get there. And let me tell you, you can get there within the next 1 to 3 years. Even if you're single, as long as you are, of marriageable age and you're prepared to get into a covenant relationship, you can do that within the next 3 years. So that's why I want to invite you to my premium course, a one-of-a-kind course called Ready for the One. Ready for the One is the most comprehensive program for Christian women who want to start a relationship and marry a godly man with confidence. By the end of this program, this is a very special program that I have created. By the end of this program, you will be able to identify a godly man and avoid wasting years dating the wrong ones. Isn't that wonderful to know that you will have found the right one and you're not going to waste all that time dating and being in bad relationships? You're also going to be able to validate a relationship to make sure he is ready and willing to invest in marriage. You're going to be able to express what you truly want in a marriage so that no one is confused about expectations. And you're going to attract the right type of man and present yourself in a way that he finds simply irresistible. Honestly, ladies, I will teach you how to go from invisible to irresistible in the eyes of the right man. I'm going to show you how to really demonstrate your value so that he sees it and appreciates it. Plus, I'm going to help you avoid dating, and I'm going to help you start courting in a way that feels authentic and honest and pleasing to God. We're going to skip all the drama. We're going to skip all the sin of dating, and I'm just going to show you how do you go about courting? How do you make that work for you? You're going to be able to develop a deep relationship that is built on a mutual love for God. Because I know, ladies, I know that you do not want to get into a marriage and be unequally yoked. You want to marry a man who is going to lead the family, who is going to be the cover for the family and be that godly husband. So I'm going to teach you how to do that so that you've got that mutual respect for God and for the church and the vision that God has given each of you so you can have the best possible chance of a lifelong God-honoring marriage. You're also going to be able to start a family that is firmly rooted in the love for Christ. I know some of you, you've got baby fever. You've got baby fever so bad. You look at moms with their little babies and your heart just swells and you get that gushy feeling and you're like, oh, I want one. And you want that baby so bad. And there is nothing wrong with that. That is healthy. That is normal. You've just got one problem. You don't have a husband. You don't have a father for that child. So let's get this done right. Let's figure out how you can properly choose the father of your child, because remember, your children cannot choose their father. That is your job. You must choose the father of your children, and you should take that responsibility. You have a responsibility to choose that person very carefully because they don't get to make that choice. That choice is up to you. So choose a man who is going to be a great father. And then you're going to enjoy a lifelong, equally yoked marriage with a man that respects you and loves you and adores you, who will be a good father to your children and a loving partner for life. That's my promise. That's my guarantee to you. I will teach you how to do that. But above all else, my course, Ready for the One, will prepare you to confidently say yes when he gets down on one knee and asks you to marry him. Say yes. Say yes with confidence that, yes, you are the right one and I want this. So, on top of the Ready for the One training program, you're going to get 5 training modules. Those training modules are going to take you from single to engaged. I am going to be there with you the whole way through videos, through audios, through PDFs, through prayer points, and more. I'm going to teach you all of this stuff. Plus, that's not all. You're going to get some very special bonuses. The first bonus you're going to get is the pre-love runway. I'm going to help you prepare your heart to love again. You're going to warm up to the idea of godly romance. I'm going to set you on the right path so that you have the right intention and you'll know why you're doing this. Because listen, I'm not extra special. I don't have access to exclusive experts or technology or any of that stuff, but I do have a proven roadmap that I follow that allows me to enjoy a satisfying marriage. And if I can do it, so can you. Because trust me, I didn't always have this figured out. I've made plenty of my own mistakes. I've been down the wrong road, but I've also turned it around and I figured out what works. I figured out what works for me. I figured out what has worked for thousands of other relationships. I know why marriages that work, and I know why marriages that fail. I've figured that out and I've put it together in this program for you so that you can have that wisdom and knowledge and build those relationship skills so you can have the relationship that you want. So bonus number 2, this is the one I'm probably the most excited to offer. Bonus number 2 is that you will get private relationship coaching with me. Remember how I said this is one of the most important decisions you will ever make in your life, and it helps to bring in a professional? Well, that's what I'm offering you. I am offering you personal private relationship sessions. You will get, when you sign up for Ready for the One, you will get 3 complimentary one-on-one sessions. We're going to sit down for an hour at a time. We're going to chat through Skype or whatever other way. If you have an internet connection, we're going to be able to make this appointment online. All right. So we'll chat online. I will help you figure out your strengths and your weaknesses and your struggles. And we're going to look at the obstacles that are in your way and we're going to break them down so that you can overcome them, so that you can have the love life you want. I'm going to help you stay motivated and reach your goals. And I'm going to be there with you along your entire journey. Sounds good? All right. Now I want to tell you that getting into this course is a no-brainer. I am providing you with a 14-day guarantee, a no-risk guarantee, that if you will show me that you did the work, that you showed up, that you invested the time and the effort to try out this material, and then at the end of the 14 days, you decide you're not satisfied, this isn't going to work for you, you've looked at it, I will happily give you a refund because I want you to be in my program and be excited about this. I want you to know that this is great and this is going to work for you if you'll do the work. Let me tell you, this is not an easy course, but it is an effective course. I will challenge you and you will grow and you will learn, and I will help bring out the best in you. And I will guarantee that if you will make the investment, you will see a total transformation in your life. So here's everything that you're going to get. Like I said, you're going to get the 5 training modules of Ready for the One. And then you're also going to get these 5 bonuses. 5 bonuses that I have included. And let me tell you a little bit about each one of them. So you're getting Ready for the One, the complete training program, which is 5 modules that will take you from single to engaged. You're also going to be getting the pre-love runway, which is my beginner course. You will, as soon as you sign up, you will be immediately enrolled in the pre-love runway, which is going to help you figure out why you're doing this and why marriage is right for you now. And the pre-love runway is valued at $597. You're also going to be getting that coaching I just talked to you about, the private coaching with me, 3 1-hour sessions, one before you begin the program, because the program itself starts on March 4th. You're going to get one session before we start the program, one session midway through the program, and the third session after you have completed the live training portion of this program. And that coaching is valued at $1,050. You're also going to get beautiful boundaries, because in any relationship, if you want to have a healthy, thriving relationship, you have to have boundaries in place. And so Beautiful Boundaries is a course that I've created that will help you learn to set boundaries that feel good, that you feel confident about, and that you are able and excited to enforce. And those boundaries will help you get the respect that you deserve, and they will help keep you safe. They will help keep your heart safe, and they will help you create a healthy, thriving relationship. Now, I said that I'm going to take you from single to engaged, but I'm not just going to leave you there. I've got another bonus course for you called After the Honeymoon. And in that course, we're going to talk about the real struggles that come up in marriage. We're going to talk about how you talk about finances with your new husband. How do you talk about starting a family or blending a family? How do you talk about those hard issues? What do you do when things aren't going the way you planned? What do you do when challenges come up, and how do you deal with those things? We're going to talk about all of that. I'm going to teach you how to have those conversations in bonus number 4, After the Honeymoon, which is valued at $497. Plus, you're going to have access to a private mastermind Facebook group. For 9 weeks, you will have access to this mastermind group in which you will be surrounded by a community of supportive women who are all going through this journey together. So they will be there to support you. Plus, every week I am going to be there live in a Q&A session on a Facebook Live to answer all of your burning questions. You're going to be going through the material, and you're going to have questions come up. And in those Facebook Lives, I will be able to address the questions of the group, and you'll be able to get those questions answered sooner rather than later. So if you add up the value of all of this training, let me run through that with you really quick. Ready for the One is valued at $1,997. The Pre-Love Runway is $597. Coaching is $1,050. The Beautiful Boundaries course is $297. The Honeymoon course is $497. And the Facebook group is valued at $597. When you add all that up, the value comes to $5,035. But I'm not going to charge you that. Not even close. I'm going to be charging you $997. I'm going to give you all of those things, that whole list. All of that is yours when you sign up for Ready for the One. $997. This is the minimum that I could make it. And this is the only time the course and all of these bonuses will be offered at such a low price. This is a very limited time offer. It is only going to be offered until February 28th. On February 28th, the doors to this course close, and I will be focusing all of my time and energy and love in training the students who are in the course. So I've only got the enrollment period open until February 28th. The doors close at midnight. So if you would like to participate in this course, if you want to grab all of those bonuses, the Pre-Love Runway, the private coaching, Beautiful Boundaries, After the Honeymoon, and the private mastermind group, along with the complete training program, if you want to grab that at this discounted rate of only $997, now is the time to do it. Because after I close the doors for this course, I don't know when I'll be offering it again. I'll be focusing all of my time and energy in really moving the women who are in the course down that road so that we can get to that point where they are happily married. My goal is to get you happily married. And these are the resources that we're going to use to get you there. So it's $997, but I know that looks like a big number. I get it. That's why I've also broken it down. I've given you two options. You are able to get started today for 3 payments of $350. So 3 equal payments of $350 or a one-time payment of $997. And if you want to take me up on this offer, if you are ready for the one, if you want to prepare to be ready for the one, go to the link on your screen, proverbs2426.com/yes. You can sign up and read more about the entire course at proverbs2426.com/yes. Now, let me take a moment. I know some of you are looking at that price and thinking, wow, $997, almost $1,000. That is a lot of money to spend on a course. Yes, it is. But you're not just spending it on a course. This is an investment in yourself. And I want to talk for a minute. Let's talk about what you're going to spend on your wedding day. Let's just be real for a moment. I know that you've probably been planning your wedding day since you were, 7? Planning out, with Ken and Barbie and the whole thing. And you've spent years planning what your dress is going to look like, what you're going to eat, who's your bridesmaid, who's your maid of honor. And you've got all of these ideas. Who's going to make your dress? Who's going to take the pictures? And you know that that's going to cost you some serious money, but you're willing to pay the price. But let me ask you a really honest question. How many times are you going to wear that wedding dress? What are you going to spend on that dress? And how many times are you going to wear it? It's just for one day. And the day after, you've got to get real about your marriage. The wedding, if you can afford it, by all means, dress to the nines, do everything you want to do, but invest in your marriage. Your wedding day is great, but it only lasts a day and it doesn't help you have a successful and lifelong marriage. Marriages are too short these days because we don't take the time to learn how to do them properly. We don't think it's worth the investment to learn these things from people who are in a position to be able to teach it to us. So I want to encourage you, think about the money that you've spent dating already. Think about the amount of money that you've spent at MAC or at some other makeup counter or on your hair trying to look cute to attract the right guy so that he'll like you. How much have you spent on that? And what are you willing to invest in a course that is going to teach you how to not just look good on the outside, but radiate from the inside so that everybody can see your true value? Because, makeup is great. I don't have a problem with makeup at all, but it's really covering up. It's really saying there's things I don't like about myself and things I want to improve and highlight and contour and whatever else. But when you invest in yourself, you're not covering anything up. You're exposing your true beauty. And I think that's really important. I want that for you. Oh, and if you grab this course before we're done this webinar, you're going to get the fast acting bonus. Remember I said at the very beginning that I'm going to give you the 7 keys to know if he is the one. That is your free bonus. You will only be able to access it if you enroll before the end of this webinar. So we got a couple more minutes. I'm just going to answer a couple questions and then you're going to jump over to the sign up page. You can go there now if you're ready, but if you're not ready, I want to keep talking to you for a couple more minutes. Don't wait. Just go grab this bonus by enrolling now. Get yourself all signed up. And here's what's going to happen. You're going to go over to proverbs2426.com/yes. And you're going to get to this page where you're going to see a sign up, enroll now at the very top, or you're going to keep scrolling down. You're going to read about some of the stuff we just talked about, what's inside this program, and you're going to get to the buy now button, and you're going to be able to choose between a one-time payment or 3 equal payments. Now, if you choose the one-time payment, you can pay with either a credit card, a debit credit card, a debit Visa, or PayPal. if you choose the payment plan, the 3 equal payments, you only have the option to purchase with a credit card. Now, I want to remind you that this course closes for enrollment. You will not be able to enroll after February 28th. On March 4th, the course begins in full, but when you sign up, you're going to have access to the pre-love runway and some of those other bonuses that we already talked about. So once you sign up, you're going to get to the confirmation page, and then you're going to go and check your email, because I'm going to email you all of your login information. Your login information will be there, and then you're going to be able to start accessing different parts of the program. Now, this program is a limited time offer. You must enroll by February 28th in order to lock in this lowest price, because I will offer this course again, but it's not going to be anytime soon. It's going to be months down the road, and it will come back at a higher price point. So if you want to lock in this lowest price ever, it's $997 or 3 equal payments of $350. That's $350 US, $997 US. So if you want to do this, now is the time. But maybe you're asking yourself and you're thinking, I don't know if I'm supposed to get married. I don't know if God wants me to get married. Why hasn't he sent me someone to get married? Look, if you have the desire in your heart to get married, that is a godly desire. If you want to get married, then you should pursue that marriage. You should work towards creating that marriage. And trust me, it takes work. But if you want it, then you should go after it. And if you're not sure, then you should definitely sign up. Take me up on my no risk guarantee, because you're going to get in you're going to immediately get access to the pre-love runway. And that's one of the first things we're going to talk about is, do you really want to get married? Do you really want this? I'm going to talk about what you're going to get out of this course, what you're not going to get out of this course, and then you're going to be able to make that final decision. Do you really want to get married? Because if you don't, then, that's important to know. You should focus your time and your effort on other things. If you don't want to get married, stop playing the dating game and focus on what you really want to be doing. Some of you are saying, I just want to be a minister to the Lord. I want Jesus to be my husband. That's great. Go and do that. But if you have the desire in your heart to get married to one man for life, you want to have a husband, you want to have a family, then that is a godly desire. And I believe that you should go for it. Maybe you're sitting here and you're feeling overwhelmed and you're thinking, isn't this supposed to come naturally? Aren't I just supposed to be able to fall in love and I'll know in my heart, I'll have a revelation that he's the one? Isn't this supposed to come naturally? And I said, whoever said these things come naturally? No, we are taught how to have relationships. When you were a little kid, your parents taught you how to make friends. They said, go say hi to Sally, say, my name is Jody, and I'm 3 years old. Do you want to play with me? Do you want to be friends? We learned how to have relationships with other people. And the problem is we've learned how to have relationships as we got older too, but a lot of the information isn't helping us. It isn't serving us because it is so worldly. So our job now as Christian women is to identify the broken things in our thinking, in our logic, improve them or change them, and get rid of the worldly thinking and adopt God's perspective on these issues and learn how to love somebody the way he wants us to. Maybe you're thinking, I'm just shy. I don't like meeting new people. If I do this course, I'm going to have to go and meet a whole bunch of new people. Yes and no. Look, there are a lot of shy married people. You can date shy guys, or you can go and meet shy people, and you can have a really great relationship with somebody who is very compatible, because we talk a lot in this course about compatibility and making sure that you're a good fit with the person you're interested in. Shy people get married. If you don't like meeting new people, I'm going to show you ways that are going to make this feel a lot more effortless, and I'm going to help you actually overcome a lot of that awkwardness around meeting people. I'm going to give you scripts. I'm going to give you words to say. This is what you say. This is how you do it, so that you can confidently go out and meet new people and introduce yourself in a way that feels really genuine and easy. Maybe you're thinking the thought of telling a man I'm not interested in dating sounds scary, and I'm not sure I can do that. Because I told you, like, we're going to get rid of the dating model and we're going to adopt the courting model in this course. And maybe you're thinking, that sounds scary. Let me remind you what I said about rejection, right? The reason it's scary is because of the rejection. And yes, rejection is difficult. But one of the things that I have done is I've provided myself to you to hold your hand through this process. So yes, you may feel some rejection. You might feel some discomfort as you go through this course, but that is part of growing and changing and learning. And that is why I've got the Facebook group there for you. And I've got myself as a private personal coach to help you get through those hurdles so you don't have to go through this alone. You will always be one click away from a supportive Facebook group where you can share your struggles and get some prayer and some support from other women who are going through the exact same thing. So you don't have to do this alone. Maybe you're thinking, I don't know where to start. I feel like I might be overcomplicating things. Yeah, in today's world, there's so much information. There's so many things you could be doing. You could be on Tinder. You could be out speed dating. You could be out doing this, that, and the other thing. Where do you start? The reason I've created this course is so that you have a very simplified roadmap that you can follow and you can just go step by step through the course. And we're going for progress, not perfection. You don't have to do this stuff perfectly, but you have to learn how to do it, and you have to be out there doing it so that you can get the results that you want. So I want to invite you, come get into the course, get immediate access to the pre-love runway. It's a very special program that you'll be able to get into right away. And then the course itself will start officially on March 4th, which is a Monday. After everybody is into the class, we're all settled in, then the live portion of the course will start. And in order to get into all of that, all you have to do is go over to proverbs2426.com/yes. /yes. Say yes to your marriage. Say yes to the love life that you truly want. Say yes to your dreams and your hopes and your visions. Say yes to your family. Say yes to that man. Say yes to generations to come, because godly marriage is a beautiful testimony to an unbelieving world. I believe that as Christians, we have a responsibility to marry and marry well, and to have thriving, healthy relationships that show people that true love is still possible, and it is possible within a covenant with God. If your relationship isn't working in the world, it's because God's not in it. God needs to be in that relationship for it to thrive and be satisfying and deeply fulfilling. So come over to proverbs2426.com/yes and check out Ready for the One. That's all I've got for you today. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to get in touch with me. You can email me at lily@proverbs2426.com. That's lily@proverbs2426.com. If you have any questions, I would be happy to chat with you. You can also reach out to me on Facebook or Instagram or wherever you do your social medias. I am there at proverbs2426.com, or you can find me at Lily Matongwiza on Instagram and Twitter, or you can find me on Facebook. Reach out to me. I would love to chat. If you have any questions at all, if you've got your own questions about not sure if this is going to work for you, you want to ask a little bit more, get some more details, go over to proverbs2426.com. Check out that page there. You're going to get all of the details, and you're going to be able to sign up there. And I hope to see you inside the course. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you have a beautiful day. I hope that if you're celebrating Valentine's Day, that it's a beautiful day for you and your loved ones. And if not, then I hope you're getting signed up for this, and you're going to have a great Valentine's Day if that's something you celebrate next year. That's it for now. Thank you for joining me. God bless you.